I was curious. So, in this class, we talk a lot about like power and the power of representation, the power of the image, and generally as a whole, our tone has been kind of down. Like, it's hard to see reality television as a space for positive cultural and social movement. Though you've kind of spoken to some of the ways in which that's maybe some exceptions to that. So I was wondering if you could just like speak to that a little bit, dive a little deeper into like what are some of the ways in which you've been able to kind of galvanize this platform and participate in ways like politically, socially, culturally that are significant in a broader like to our broader human landscape.
Part of it is just like this invisible pressure to fall in line with the systems that are already in play. And what I mean by that is kind of like that influencer lifestyle, posting content to get engagement and to increase followers and all of the things. Because I had already been going on like a DEI journey, or like the diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, justice, and all the things. And I had gone through like a leadership programs and things like that. And so coming into it, I feel like it was really important to me and like my kind of image and branding to hold that like authenticity and that integrity very close. And I actually would tell some of my friends, like, so if I start like going off the rails, please bring me back to center. Like, if I start to lose my way, like, please help ground me. And like, I invited people to do that. And luckily, I didn't really need any reminders, but like, I also wanted to make sure, because I knew that it can be so easy to fall into like, oh, gotta get all of this engagement so that I can, talk to brands, and then I can do this, and then I can make all this money and do the things. And then all of a sudden you're like losing sight of like, why am I doing this? And why we were doing this was to bring the authenticity, to bring representation, to have these conversations, and to show that there's another way that we can use these platforms. I did have to really do like ego checks, because you can get so wrapped up into it and be like, oh, like I'm growing followers, and like, when are we gonna, like, how is this all gonna play out? And what do I need to do? But like, that's not me. I don't like following trends. I don't like having to like research things. It just takes the fun away from it. And so I did need to like ego check myself many times and like sit with these uncomfortable feelings. Part of my thing is to bring representation. So I am going to talk about politics, and I am going to talk about, social injustices, and I am going to talk about these things that people don't necessarily want to hear about unless they're on that journey themselves. And really just like reminding myself, when people fall away, which they did, when I started to be more vocal about certain things that people didn't always want to see from a so-called influencer or somebody who was supposed to be an influencer, they did fall away. And I did see like people like in the hundreds. But then after a certain point, I started to appreciate them falling away, because I'm like, I don't really need your energy anyways. If you're not here for this type of stuff, then I don't know if I would even want to have a conversation with you anyways. And so it was also just kind of like holding true to myself and like remembering what the truth is, which is, am I aligning with the people that I want to, or am I just trying to like, inflate my ego and tell myself that like, oh, I can get more followers from this, or like I can gain something. And it's really just like detaching from that and just speaking my truth, and speaking truths that other people may not have a platform for, and trying to lift them up with whatever, privilege that I do have from this.